During the poorest year of my life, I bent Alexander Brooks to my will and sold myself to him. Alex, crippled by leg disabilities, carried himself with gloomy insecurity, taking particular pleasure in bedroom torment. It wasn't until Emily appeared that I discovered Alex could be tender. To steer the plot back on track, I fled after securing enough money, leaving a note. A cripple like you could never satisfy me. After multiple relocations, I settled in the city farthest from him. One evening, returning home, cold metal pressed against my spine as someone pinned me against the wall, hands gripping my waist. Terrified of being stabbed, I begged for mercy. Alex's lazy chuckle ghosted over my ear. Sweetheart, what kills you from behind isn't always a blade. His wheelchair creaked violently as he arched backward, veins bulging along his elongated neck. Those restraining hands prevented escape even as I collapsed from the wheelchair afterward, knees hitting the floor. Impeccably dressed Alex remained seated, merely tightening his grip on my throat while claiming my lips until oxygen deprivation blurred my vision. Dawn approached when he finally lit a cigarette. Sated. Smoke swirled between us as those obsidian eyes locked onto mine. Unreadable emotions swirling. Didn't like the mansion I gifted you? His frostbitten tone matched his personality. My mind blanked, eliciting a faint hum of agreement. Alex smirked, effortlessly lifting me onto his lap despite his lean frame. We'll find one you adore then. Cigarette smoke wafted over my face as his lips brushed my earlobe. Why stop at 10? Purred, wrapping arms around his neck with docile charm. His chest vibrated with quiet laughter. Little gold digger. Snuggling against him, I maintained the illusion of compliance, though escape plans brewed beneath. Morning light invaded the dark bedroom as his mouth found my neck again, teeth grazing skin in familiar patterns. He relished watching me gasp for air, clawing at him for oxygen until the butler knocked. Mr. Brooks, Miss Emily has arrived. The hands exploring under my shirt stilled. Alex swatted my hip in dismissal, smoothing his suit into pristine respectability. Don't wait up. Same words. 6th time this month he'd abandon me for Emily. He'd exorcise his violent cravings through me before offering Emily his tenderness. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, I watched Emily approach in tailored tweed, her hand naturally claiming his wheelchair's handles as they strolled through the garden. Alex's smile glowed with unfamiliar softness. Witnessing this, I found the old ache had dulled to numbness. Instead, I stared at the balance on my phone screen. Alexander Brooks had always been generous. Over 2 years, I'd saved over $50 million. Enough to live comfortably for the rest of my life. My hands trembled slightly as I thought about the escape plan. I cursed myself bitterly. What's there to fear? Alex is so damn difficult. This money is just rightful compensation for my emotional distress. I slept fitfully, tears soaking the pillow. In my dreams, rough warm hands seemed to cradle my face. Half asleep, memories flickered through my mind like old film reels. Growing up stumbling through orphanage life, enduring hardships after entering society. During my poorest year, I'd survived splitting a single steamed bun into 2 meals daily, until I applied for Alex's caregiver position. Wearing borrowed formal clothes, I gazed up at the ornate mansion while the housekeeper warned. Mr. Brooks has a strong personality. I nodded. Someone like Alex, that golden child struck down by a car accident leaving him wheelchair-bound, was bound to have emotional scars. I just never imagined his temper could be this vicious. Many applicants came with me. The moment I stepped into the study, a sobbing girl rushed past. A cold, mocking voice carried from inside. Don't be so dramatic. Jumping off a building would barely make local news. A male applicant protested. That's unnecessarily cruel, Mr. Brooks. That's when I saw Alex by the window, all sharp angles and dangerous beauty, a thin blanket over his legs in the shadows. He smirked at the challenge. Cruelty's the point. Why bother speaking otherwise? The Alex back then wielded words like scalpels. You haven't even read our resumes. How can these? He lifted some papers, chuckled, and let them flutter to the floor. Don't need to. Sit on a copier, that'd make better credentials. Humiliation drove most applicants away. As one man left cursing, Alex lounged in his chair. Want me to engrave those words on your tombstone? My treat. Over a dozen candidates fled his verbal lashings until only I remained. Exhausted from his tirade, Alex glanced at me while lighting a cigarette. Him. Thus began my life as Alex's personal caregiver. Helping with rehab, managing his daily needs. Maybe my thick skin made me immune to his barbs. Surprisingly, he seemed to approve of my resilience. Beneath the vitriol, I discovered contradictions. He'd rescue drenched stray cats, towel drying them while scolding. Got that skull just for decoration? Rain's coming. Ever heard of shelter? When I messed up, he'd sneer. You mainline stupid juice today? I gasped. You know I use group meal deals? All my salary went to the orphanage director's medical bills, leaving me surviving on discounted food bundles. To my surprise, Alexander Brooks froze, turning his head away awkwardly. Later, he demanded I join him for every meal, claiming I ate like a starved animal and it made food look appetizing. I obediently cleaned my plate each time. Within weeks of this rich diet, I developed noticeable muscle mass. When I bragged about deadlifting 220 pounds, Alex asked me why I was so obsessed with working out. I slapped his bony shoulder. Gotta stay strong to protect you. That was the first compliment I ever got from him. He coughed into his fist, avoiding eye contact. Ethan, you've started acting almost human lately. I'm relieved. Our friendship deepened as I watched him verbally eviscerate increasing numbers of people. I began envying his razor-sharp tongue, longing to embrace that kind of unfiltered existence. During an outing, some starry-eyed girl tried recreating a cheesy romance novel scene by accidentally spilling coffee on Alex. I intercepted the scalding liquid, burning my back. That night, Alex unleashed the most vicious tirade I'd ever witnessed, reducing the sobbing girl to a trembling puddle of shattered mills and boon fantasies. Back at his penthouse, I sat shirtless as Alex tended my burns. Do you ever lick your lips? I asked abruptly. His eyebrow arched. What? Worried you might poison yourself? He opened his mouth to retort, but I silenced him with a kiss. The lips that spewed venom turned out soft and warm. That night, Alex showed me the feral intensity beneath his controlled exterior. I became his kept lover. The cold sheets told me he hadn't returned. After checking my phone, I dragged my sore body to the shower. Though demanding in bed, Alex paid generously. His money saved Grandma Ruth at the orphanage. I needed to visit her before leaving. Driving through the city, 3 years with Alex flashed before me. I'd almost believed this arrangement could last. Until the system appeared. Claimed I was a glitch, that I'd derailed a romance novel by bending the male lead. First I laughed. Until Emily arrived. I'd never seen such radiant sunshine. She melted Alex's defenses, becoming his psychiatrist, moving into the Brooks estate, healing his childhood wounds. Where others got venom, she received tenderness. Watching them together, I finally believed the system. Grandma Ruth stroked my hair as I explained my departure. Her wrinkled hand trembled. Follow your heart, child. But remember, real love isn't found in storybook endings written by others. Ethan must have been unhappy here, so let him go. Whether it was years of pent-up grievances or the discomfort of leaving the Brooks household, I clung to Grandma's waist and sobbed uncontrollably. By the time I reached the airport, Alex called. Where are you? My grip tightened on the suitcase handle guiltily. Out. Thankfully, he didn't press further. Come home early. No late nights. He was probably away, oblivious to the note I'd left. I called to say don't wait up. Sleep first, I won't be back tonight. My chest constricted as if crushed by an invisible fist, each breath stinging. I opened my mouth but no sound emerged. Emily's flirtatious laughter suddenly pierced through the line, so intimate she might as well have been in his arms. I shut my eyes briefly. When they reopened, resolve hardened my voice. Goodbye, Alex. Though I said goodbye, we'd never meet again in this lifetime. He chuckled low, the sound curling like smoke. So formal. The timbre dropped, turning suggestive. Be ready tomorrow night. That evening, my red-eye flight landed in a remote border town thousands of miles from him. I destroyed my SIM card, deleted all social media, and purged every trace of Alex. After buying a cottage, I spent a month decompressing. Habits are terrifying. Having grown accustomed to the lively Brooks mansion, the silence now felt oppressive. I adopted a cat and opened Save Soul, a bar that over 3 years welcomed backpackers, heartbroken souls, and seekers of connection. I learned mixology and guitar, occasionally performing folk tunes that tugged at old memories. Alex once remarked in bed that my androgynous looks could convert straight men. His words proved prophetic. Countless patrons, male and female, flirted shamelessly. Tonight, as I passed a whiskey sour to a girl with stiletto nails grazing my palm, her gaze turned hazy. Ethan, they say you avoid relationships because of some unforgettable first love. First love? The ghost of a man flickered in my mind. I smirked bitterly. Just a transaction. Nothing to miss. But everyone needs to move on. She persisted, fingers trapping mine. Suddenly, scorching heat prickled my neck, like being watched. I withdrew hastily, declining her invitations. I drowned myself in Long Island iced teas until closing. Stumbling home drunk, I barely touched the fingerprint lock before being slammed against the wall. Something pressed against the lower back of my waist. My legs turned to jelly with fear. This small town had sketchy public safety. Who knew if some opportunistic mugger decided to rob me at knife point? Don't kill me. I've got money. Take it all. Just put the knife down first. The assailant behind me paused, then chuckled lowly, a broad palm anchoring against my hip bone. I swear I'll give you cash. Please don't stab me, I begged, voice trembling with tears. Scorching breath fanned across my ear as teeth grazed the lobe. Alexander Brooks' lazy drawl vibrated against my skin. Sweetheart, not everything that fucks you from behind has to be a blade. I turned slowly, disbelieving. There stood Alex's face, weathered and more angular than I remembered after 3 years. What shocked me more, he was standing upright. Your legs, they're healed? Alex didn't answer, hauling me against his chest. His vice, like grip, stole my breath until I shoved at his shoulders. Red-rimmed eyes glared down. The suspicious sheen of tears? He flicked my earlobe irritably. Quit squirming earlier. Your hair got in my eyes. Guilt made me blow gently across his face. Better? His answer came as a searing kiss, swallowing every protest. By the time oxygen became urgent, I clung to his neck for support. Alex finally rumbled a laugh against my lips. Ethan, if you don't unlock that door now, I'm taking you right here. We both knew he meant it. Fearing neighbors might hear, I reluctantly turned the knob. The moment it clicked, Alex swept me up bridal style, kicked the door shut, and marched toward the bedroom. Old memories flooded back as he tossed me onto the mattress. I scrambled backward, only to have him drag me by the ankle. No, don't, I screamed, terrified of what pain his current madness might inflict. Alex froze, then collapsed beside me, gathering my shaking form against sweat-drenched clothes. Only then did I notice his labored breathing. Whatever miracle let him walk again clearly had limits. I expected rage over my disappearance. Anticipated punishment. Not this desperate embrace. Exhaustion seeped into my bones as he buried his face against my chest. Drifting off, I almost thought I heard muffled words. Ethan, missed you. Must have imagined it. Because morning found Alex exactly as he'd always been. All sharp edges and sharper tongue. Early in the morning, commotion erupted at my front door. Rubbing sleep from my eyes, I stumbled out to find Alexander Brooks lounging in my living room wearing nothing but a towel, completely unfazed. My friend Liang Yu stood frozen in the doorway, jaw nearly hitting the floor. Who's this? Liang Yu managed. Alex snorted and casually tugged at my collar, exposing the fresh hickey on my neck before smirking triumphantly. The color drained from Liang Yu's face as I finally snapped awake, scrambling to invite him inside without any plausible explanation. Ethan, I brought you breakfast, Liang Yu said quietly, holding up a takeout bag. Alex intercepted it with lightning speed. Thanks, buddy. Next time remember mine comes without scallions. Liang Yu's eyes narrowed. This is for Ethan. What's it to you? Did you max out your Groupon coupons or something? Alex retorted, leaning against the counter. What matters is my connection with Ethan. Their bickering escalated to playground-level absurdity until I finally snapped. Alex, one more word and you're out. The notorious sharp-tongued heir immediately clammed up, scurrying to put actual clothes on. Liang Yu seized the opening. So Ethan's not actually with you then? Alex's stormy expression answered louder than words. Against all logic, the once unapproachable business scion had become my unwanted roommate. Guilt over initially planning to swindle him kept me from kicking him out when he showed up claiming bankruptcy and homelessness. I reluctantly put him to work at my bar with strict rules. He could crash on my couch but stayed out of my bedroom. Turns out employing Alex brought its own headaches. His model-grade looks attracted hordes of admirers. Within days, 32 people of various genders had propositioned him with generous arrangements. Face like this could make millions in the escort business. He preened, cornering me during my shift. Tell me you're not tempted. I shoved his approaching face away, martini shaker clinking. Not even slightly. We existed in different universes. The system assured me this was temporary. Soon enough, his program storyline would reset, sending him back to marry Emily Clark. Now he occupied his usual perch at the bar, watching me mix drinks. A woman dripping in designer labels plopped down beside him. Chanel no. 5 engulfing our workspace. 2 mojitos, she purred, fingers grazing toward Alex's jawline. 1 for me, 1 for this masterpiece. Over 25? Want an upgrade? Alex recoiled dramatically. Let's cut to the chase. Are you trying to keep me? Emily froze, then placed her Hermes bag on the table with a charming smile. Is that okay? Alex raised an eyebrow. Sure, if you can afford me. My rate's $100 million net cash monthly. Triple pay during holiday months. Special occasions require villas comparable to the manor at Beverly Hills. His calm voice drew curious glances from nearby patrons. Emily's frown deepened as he continued listing demands. Someone muttered, "That's ridiculously materialistic." Alex scoffed. Materialistic? Should I beg you to stick around forever instead? The crowd erupted in murmurs. Flushed with anger, Emily suddenly brightened when she noticed me delivering mojitos. She grabbed my wrist. How old are you? Wanna come with me? Before I could say I'm over 25, Alex forcibly pried her hand off mine. His smile didn't reach his eyes. Save your energy. You're not rich enough to make people overlook your insanity. That night's sarcastic remarks cost me multiple clients. Alex promised compensation. During the band's set, spotlights found him center stage. His soulful R&B kept the crowd entranced. When the chorus hit, he shot me that signature eyebrow lift, ice cubes clinking in his glass. My hands chilled from the drink, yet warmth spread through my chest. This confusing duality crystallized one truth. I'd fallen for Alex. But our worlds could never align. He sang love ballads till dawn while I drowned in whiskey. When someone finally helped me stagger out, I slurred, "Need Alex?" The supporting arm stiffened. "He's not for you, Ethan. You're from different planets. You're just his temporary distraction." Liang Yu's words stabbed deeper with each step. 3 years. Ethan, why won't you see me? His angry fingers fumbled with my shirt buttons. Tears broke through my restraint. Before the first sob finished echoing, cracking flesh sounds erupted. Alex appeared like vengeance incarnate, catching me as Liang Yu stumbled back bleeding. Singing my heart out while you sneak off with Ethan? Alex's grip trembled against my waist. Spotlights from the stage painted his furious profile in gold, ice melting forgotten at our feet. He fought back defiantly. After several rounds, Liang Yu stopped throwing punches and instead kicked Alex in the leg. The previously imposing man instantly dropped to one knee. I knew there was something wrong with your leg all along. A cripple like you deserves Ethan? Fucking lame ass. Go crawl back to your wheelchair. He punctuated each word with another kick to Alex's leg. Though still drunk, I snapped into violent clarity at the mention of Alex's leg condition. I shoved Liang Yu away, attacking him with red-eyed frenzy. No one understood better than me the agony Alex endured during his past flare-ups, pain so severe even morphine couldn't touch it. My bloodied fists froze mid-swing at his faint whimper. Ethan, my leg hurts. I immediately stopped, hoisting Alex onto my back. Our stumbling journey home through wind-whipped streets sobered me halfway. Questions burned my tongue. Did he love Emily? What did I mean to him? But fear sealed my lips. I couldn't bear hearing this was just casual. Last night, I'd overheard Alex's phone call. The Brooks family demanded his return. No more shared laughter in our remote dive bar. He'd marry Emily and build his business empire, leaving our border town behind. After settling him in bed, Alex fixed me with an unreadable gaze. My leg hurts, he finally murmured. I know, but I want. No one could tell who initiated the kiss. Pinned beneath him, I gasped as Alex gripped my waist with punishing force. You said a cripple couldn't satisfy you, he growled, relentless despite my pleas. Tell me now, am I enough? The crumpled note from our past materialized in my mind. Back when we discovered this particular pain management, how my body outperformed his painkillers. What began as emergency relief had become nightly ritual. Now, writhing in ecstasy, I couldn't tell if this was about his leg or his heart. Afterward, curled against his chest, I tensed hearing Emily's name ring through his phone. She demanded wedding preparations in Riverstone City. Are you marrying Emily? The question escaped like a trapped bird. Alex exhaled cigarette smoke slowly. Yeah. Icy reality drenched me. What was I? The words died unspoken. When are you leaving? Tomorrow. Need to check this leg injury. The Brooks family mansion awaited, along with his porcelain doll bride. Our barstool intimacy would become another border town memory, fading like cigarette ash in the dawn. I tossed and turned all night, haunted by dreams of Alexander Brooks and Emily Clark living their picture-perfect life from the novel. I lamented the unfairness of fate yet felt grateful. Without Alex, I'd never have made this fortune. Little did I know I'd wake to Emily's icy gaze. He made you breakfast. The bedside tray held Alex's signature omelet. He'd taken over morning meals since arriving in Harbor City, mastering the kitchen in mere weeks. Now his perfected breakfast routine accompanied his absence. Facing Emily, my throat tightened with guilt. I'd stolen the flawless partner crafted for her in the story. Though we'd met before, her scrutiny chilled me. I knew about your arrangement from the start, she said, making me feel like a mistress caught red-handed. When her gaze fell on the tulips he'd planted, her voice cracked. Do you know how Alex recovered his mobility? 3 years of agonizing rehab sessions. I endured every scream and setback with him. What did you ever sacrifice? Ethan? Heat crawled up my neck. I'll leave, I finally whispered. She departed satisfied. Alex reappeared a week later, lunging for a kiss the moment I opened my door. I shoved him back. What are we? You're marrying Emily yet keep stringing me along? Am I your entertainment? Planning some polygamous fantasy? His flustered explanation about a fake marriage and needing time fell on deaf ears. I slammed the door. His pleading calls stopped after a few days. The system notified me the storyline had corrected protagonists would overcome final trials for their happy ending. As the glitch, I was being erased. Normalcy returned, along with loneliness, until the morning a van intercepted me. I woke in a warehouse, Emily bound beside me. Shouldn't I be gone already? I mentally prodded the system. Just final villain tropes before hero rescues heroine. Standard stuff. Will I die here? The silence stretched. Not sure. The advisor didn't mention it. Every world's upheaval leads to different paths. But the world strives to mend itself. Seeing how unreliable the system was, I had to rely on myself. Emily came to groggily, staring at me in confusion. Soon, several thug-like men entered. The leader frowned. Weren't we supposed to kidnap Alex's beloved? Why are there both men and women here? They immediately started whispering about Alex, dissecting every rumor imaginable. After endless gossiping, Alex finally arrived. The most cliché plot twist unfolded. The ultimate villain turned out to be Alex's uncle. To seize the family fortune, he'd orchestrated the car crash that paralyzed Alex's legs, then kept surveilling him for the kill. His final move, threatening Alex through his lover. But seeing me clearly threw him off. He never expected his nephew to have such exotic tastes. Thus, the original trope of forcing the male lead to suicide by threatening the female lead morphed into Alex choosing between Emily and Ethan. I mentally cursed the system. You approved this soap opera nonsense? The system stammered. I skipped that meeting, had no idea. The uncle now aimed guns at both Emily and Ethan. Choose who lives. Pretty boy. What should have been a straightforward rescue mission had become a nightmare because of me. All Alex's meticulous planning crumbled. Emily sobbed quietly, whispering Alex's name. Facing death, I felt oddly calm. An orphan since childhood, my only meaningful connection had been Alex, yet oceans of differences separated us. If this was the end, so be it. Even unflappable Alex broke. As his uncle counted down, panic flashed across his face. When Emily left his lips, I closed my eyes. The system shrieked. Main romance arc completed. Credits secured. Before vanishing from my mind. But no bullet came. Instead, Emily's scream pierced the air as Alex collapsed. The uncle holstered his gun, sneering. Did you really think I'd let you choose? I always wanted you dead. Rage surged through me. I tackled him, slamming a rock into his skull until Alex's security arrived. Later at the hospital, watching Alex hooked to machines, tears threatened until I remembered his choice. He'd picked Emily. She was the love of his life. Why should I worry about him? 2 weeks later, Alexander Brooks finally woke up. The world seemed different this time. The first thing Alex did upon waking was to find me. He clung to me desperately while I worried he might reopen his wounds. Ethan Carter, we can finally be together now. After we got together, I had this strange dream where I fell for Emily and stayed with her. But I knew clearly my heart belonged to you. I tested it. No matter how I tried to avoid her, Emily would coincidentally appear wherever I went, like some twisted cosmic setup. So I pretended to be with her, followed every plot point, trying to outsmart fate itself. This time, when I nearly died, I dreamed an entire lifetime with Emily. But the man who woke up is finally free. His words unraveled all the mysteries about Alex's past behavior and the lengths he'd gone to for us. All right then, I teased. Buy me 10 more designer suits. The night Alex was discharged, he stuck to me like glue. The car accident had permanently damaged his legs. Even with rehabilitation, he could only stand briefly. When I asked why he suddenly pushed through physical therapy, he nipped my earlobe, voice husky. Someone implied a cripple couldn't satisfy them. I'd witnessed his 3-year struggle with rehab, never realizing it stemmed from my careless remark. I knew where you went after leaving, Alex murmured between kisses trailing down my neck, his voice catching. I just didn't dare follow. My heart swelled with bittersweet warmth as I tangled fingers in his hair, letting him have his way. Be good. Turn over. That night, Alex demonstrated with thorough conviction that not all backstabbings require knives. I awoke at dusk to find matching rings on our fingers, perfect fits. Is this a proposal? I asked. His ears flushed crimson. If you want it to be. Emily joined us for dinner that evening to check Alex's recovery progress. I still felt awkward, but she waved it off. Relax. I'm over Alex. Don't know what possessed me before, clinging to him even knowing you too willing to be his beard. Then one day it lifted like waking up. Turns out I prefer building my medical career. Watching Emily glow while discussing surgical innovations, I finally understood what a true story protagonist looks like. When the world stops scripting lives, everyone gets to write their own ending.